What are the biggest problems that you see are facing the DJ community today? Let us know in the comment section. I mean, really, just start typing it right now because I know that you've got an opinion on this. Let us know what it is. I threw this question out to the universe yesterday and I got a lot of answers. I'm going to read them to you today, or some of them anyway, some of the more unique ones. A lot of them have to do with money, and well, I think we can kind of combine them all into one thing, and I'll save that until later. I was going to do this as a live stream, by the way, but I thought, let's just do a video on it. So, the first one that's popping up that I think is interesting is someone is saying, old DJs saying technology is killing the craft. I'm going to read the reply to this. It's not that technology is killing the craft. It's people leveraging technology as a substitute for experience and knowledge. That is the problem. Let me just give you a full disclosure here. I love technology. Absolutely love it. Anything that comes along that makes my life easier is a good thing. Because what that'll do is allow me to focus my time and energy on something else. But I guess when you've got all this technology and you forget about focusing on other things and you just rely on the technology to do everything for you, yeah, it's kind of not good. it makes our art not interesting, and it kind of reflects poorly on us as a community when all you do is rely on the tech. Because I mean, really, guys, when you think about it, if all you need is the tech, then what do you need a DJ for? You got to bring something else to the table. I had to read this next one a couple times because I wasn't sure what they were saying, but now that I've read it a few times, I think I get it. What they're saying is there are a lot of clients now that aren't looking for DJs for their musical expertise or their skills as a DJ. They're looking for DJs to just kind of play their playlists. Hey, you got a nice sound system, you got a nice lighting system, you come highly recommended where you show up on time and you look presentable and you know how to talk on a microphone. Play this playlist. Just do that. And it happens. And it's always happened, I guess. It's worse now with Spotify because a lot of clients will send you a Spotify playlist of things they like. And what they're saying the problem is here, and I do agree, that we don't have a communal experience with music anymore. There used to be a situation where everyone listened to the same thing. Okay, the radio. We're all listening to the same radio stations. We're all watching MTV or whatever it might be. So we're all talking about the same songs and artists. But now that it's so incredibly personalized through Spotify, either in your car or, through your headset while you're walking down the street and not looking both ways before crossing it, it's worse. It's very personalized. So sometimes you get these Spotify lists and they're good. Sometimes you get them and they're not very good because it's music that a lot of other people just aren't going to be feeling. When I run into situations like that, of course I try to counsel them a little bit. You can only get so far because people dig their heels in on this stuff. So what I'll do is I'll start the evening off with whatever they happen to want. I may throw a track or two in there to supplement what they're asking for. And usually what I'll do is if I know a track's not going to do well, I'll play it, but then I'll follow it up with a track that I know is going to do well for the audience that's in front of me. And it does well, and then I'll go back to their playlist. Typically when I do that, when anybody has real specific requests like that, or if they, let's say, don't want things that are going to be really good for the event. That happens a lot. Oh, don't play any group active songs. Don't play these big hits that everyone likes. Don't play those. You feel like they've tied your hands behind your back almost, and you have to play these other songs instead. What they're really saying, I believe, sometimes, most of the time, is that we want something different than we saw at the last 5 weddings we went to. Because at the last 5 weddings we went to, DJ played the same stuff. If you can interpret that as just, okay, they want something unique and they want their personality to reflect what you're playing, I think you can do pretty well. And supplement songs that they want for songs that maybe you would have played otherwise. Typically what happens when I do this is about an hour and a half in, the client will come up to me and say, that was great, thank you. That was exactly what we wanted, thank you. To me that means You gave us what we want. Now do what you do. And that's exactly what I do. And I've got happy clients. That's just how I handle it. But yeah, I understand it's a thing, but there are workarounds, I believe. Conveying value and differentiation. This is a big deal. What he's talking about is the average wedding client sees a DJ as a commodity and they're all kind of the same. Why does one cost this, one cost that? They don't know. And it's difficult sometimes to explain to a client why you are priced where you're priced or why they should book you. It's difficult because, I mean, part of it is, yeah, you know what? There are a lot of homogenized DJs out there. They're all kind of doing the same thing. Talked about that a second ago where I was saying that, you know, a client wants a DJ to be different than the last 5 weddings they went to. They want something different than that. So they're asking for unique songs. It's tough to convey that, but I believe that listening to them, letting them talk, and then chiming in with things helps a lot, especially in the client meeting or the sales process. It's like you get a scope of work, you figure out what their likes are, their dislikes are, and then you offer suggestions that make sense and don't interfere with their vision or enhance their vision. I believe that's kind of where we show them what we're made of and maybe how we're different than the next DJ or how we might handle things different than every other DJ they've seen. But yeah, it's tough, especially when everybody's so homogenized out there. Not everyone's going to be able to do that because not everybody is unique. But if you are indeed unique, those are just some things that I like to do to help separate me from the next guy. There's a lot of comments here about DJs not knowing music, but the one that's super interesting to me is putting in the time to get to a level of proficiency. Seems like everyone wants to be a rock star and have it happen overnight. DJs looking for tips, hacks, and shortcuts instead of putting in time to develop and learn. If we're all using the same playlists and we're all using the same equipment and we're all saying the same things on the microphone and we're all mixing in exactly the same way, how different are we from the next guy? Homogenization, I think, is a bad thing with this industry. And looking for the shortcut to greatness isn't how you achieve greatness. The way you achieve greatness is to work and to try new things and to not just be the Mick DJ, just like the next DJ. There are people that I admire, and I take things from them. I always have. There are things that I see that I like, and hey, I'm going to use that. But I've developed my own style over time, and my style continues to evolve. And when you're first starting out, yeah, you're just going to emulate everybody else, and you're not going to be much different than the next one. But once you've been doing it for a while and you see things that you like and see things that you don't like and you start to develop a style, that's pretty cool. But it just goes back to the whole thing, you know, relying on the technology and, like this guy's saying here, it's more about the shortcuts. There are some things there are no shortcuts for. There are no shortcuts to experience. And that doesn't mean you can't gain it. But have an open mind, try new things. Don't just do what the next guy is doing. Do something uniquely you. Do something that you think is cool. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to fail. And some people are afraid of failure. Oh no, what if I do that and they don't like it? I know this is a sure thing, so I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to try this other thing. You have to try stuff. You got to. Otherwise, you're not going to be any different than the next guy. I would say the Dunning-Kruger effect. If you don't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, you're not alone. I mean, I had to Google it a while back. It's thinking that you know things that you don't know. I've got a friend who just bought high-dollar powered speakers for his production company. He told me 2 things that blew my mind. The first thing he wanted to tell me was how many watts these speakers were each, and how cool it was that they were this many watts. They're powered speakers, dude. I don't care how many watts they are. What's the SPL? That's what I want to know. Watts isn't something that we're too worried about anymore in the world of powered speakers. Yeah, passive, we needed to know that, and we needed to know impedance, all kinds of other fun stuff. But in the world of powered speakers, watts, it doesn't really mean anything. SPL means something. And then he went on to tell me that he bought 6 of them. Front of house, 6 speakers. Okay, why did you buy 6? Well, it's what I'm starting out with. Okay, look, the way it works with speakers is you must have exponential growth to realize more volume. So you got 1 speaker. What's louder than 1 speaker? 2. What's louder than 2 speakers? 3? No, 4. You got to double it every time. So 6 speakers isn't going to do anything. 8 is going to be more than 4, but 6 isn't more than 4 as far as volume goes. You see what I'm saying? He didn't know this. Yet he acted like he did. And he acted like it was fine. That's Dunning-Kruger. He's done the same thing to me on several other topics, DJing or otherwise. And I like this guy. And he's actually older than I am. But he thinks he knows stuff that he doesn't know. The lack of owning music. The music industry, too many DJs, is just a variable, not the reason. The love of music should be your number 1 reason to DJ. I see a lot of people talking about tech. I see a lot of people talking about mixing in one fashion or another, and lighting, and look at me, look how cute I am. I don't hear hardly anybody talking about music or a song that turns them on. It's like secondary. It was always first for me. I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to do this thing, because I felt like that I could kind of be the tastemaker. I would be the one who could figure out what the people in front of me would want to hear. And maybe show them something they didn't know, but they like based on things that they do indeed like. It's different now. It's about mixing, and it's about selfie opportunities and social media and weird stuff. Yeah, it should be about music. I agree. There were several comments in regards to AI. AI is a threat. Let me give you my Reader's Digest on what I believe is going on with AI. Within the next 5 or 10 years, I think AI is going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to produce killer robots that wipe us all out and take over the world. That's one. You saw the Terminator. It could happen. Or it's going to force us to be better. If the DJ industry has become homogenized, AI can figure out exactly what everyone is doing and do it. It's not a big deal. Just do what everyone else is doing. But if we're unpredictable and we're unique, they can't really touch us. I will say this about AI. I remember when people were excited. I remember when they were afraid. Now I'm seeing it shift into they're annoyed by AI. And it's not a good thing. AI has no problem lying to you and saying things to you that are not true and passing them on as fact. This is done in images. This is done in text. And it's gotten to the point where intelligent people aren't sure what's true and false anymore based on what they're seeing on a computer. And AI is to blame for that, because AI has no problem with deceiving human beings. So, the honeymoon's over with AI, be it fear or excitement. Now I think it's like, wait a minute, we're seeing what you're really made of. It's kind of like a relationship. You meet somebody and it's great, and then you get to know them a little bit, and it's like, you see some things you didn't see at first. I think this is happening with AI. if this continues to happen, I think AI is going to get a public perception of a really cheap and easy route. And when it comes to things like wedding receptions, people don't want cheap and easy. They want something that other people are going to talk about. AI is going to become the canned spam of DJs, not this amazing alternative, more like the cheap budget alternative. The equivalent of going to Costco and buying a speaker with lights in it and Bluetoothing your phone to it instead of hiring a DJ. That's where I think AI is going to be. And that's not going to have a good reputation. And that's nothing that anyone's going to want to be associated with. They don't want to serve spam for dinner at their weddings, and they're not going to want to have spam out there for the entertainment. That's what I believe is happening. And it's just based on observation. AI says things to you that you want to hear, not what you need to hear, not the truth. It's kind of like this, like you hear about a yes man. It's kind of what AI is. It's like a yes man for people. And people don't trust it, and they don't like it. So that's where we're at today with AI. And it's narrow AI. And there's a general AI that we may or may not see in the future that's conscious and thinks for itself. But we're not there yet. We're not Terminator yet. We're just at this narrow AI that's just regurgitating everything that it's told. And I'm not afraid of it. Are you? Getting into the DJ industry today is very easy to do. DJ in a box kind of thing. It's very easy to step into this. And some people see that as a problem. It's a popular thing. People want to do it. Hey, I'd like to be a DJ too. Oh, here's a way that I can get started quick. We've talked about this. Yeah, that's technology. And that's breaking it down to its lowest common denominator as far as what DJing is. But as an artist with experience and some thought, if you treat it like an art instead of this equation to figure out with cheat codes, I think you're going to do well. But if you don't, I think you're going to do so well. In the meantime, you got a lot of people out there saying they're a DJ just because they just bought a DJ in a box. In the meantime, you got guys that have been sitting around doing this for 20, 30, 40 years going, oh, what? Really? That's not a new thing. That always happens. But it's just getting easier and easier and easier. I'll tell you what I feel like is a big problem with the DJ industry today. It's overcompensation for things. It's absolutes and it's extreme points of view. And I'll give you an example that you'll understand. There are people out there that quick mix for 4, 5, 6 hours all night long. There are people out there who never quick mix and just play the entire song and just blend or mix track to track. I see camps where it's like you must quick mix all night, or no, don't quick mix, it's crap. Well, how about something in the middle? How about you quick mix some things, but you don't quick mix everything? How come it has to be so extreme? How come it has to be all or nothing? And how come we're wasting our time and energy trying to defend ourselves instead of trying to figure out really cool ways that we can help each other and use things like quick mix and letting a song breathe to our advantage and to our audience's advantage? People just get so bullheaded on this stuff, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I think what happens is sometimes there are advocates of quick mixing or not quick mixing. They get so incredibly passionate about it, it almost becomes like a debate, like they're getting graded for this, and it's an all or nothing thing. That's detrimental to us. That's not helpful. Look, social media is amazing because we can all kind of come together. I can talk to somebody on the other side of the world who does what I do. They thought they were all alone. I thought I was all alone. We've connected now, and we can share ideas. But if we're stubborn and we don't learn and we adopt these extreme points of view for everything that we do, we're not going to grow. We're just going to dig our heels in and argue, and that's not productive. Someone else was saying that there's a problem out there where there are gatekeepers, where it's either for information or technology, and everybody wants to get their hand out to get paid. There is that. When money became a thing on social media with YouTube and I guess TikTok and other things, monetization became a thing. It became a money grab, and I was early on where I was just the anarchist who wanted to share everything. So I'm different than a lot of the others. But yeah, sure. That's always going to be a thing, and that's a relatively new thing. Going back to when monetization started. I mean, I remember the first group I saw come in that really was going for the cash grab. I was like, what are they doing? Really? Are people really going to pay for this stuff? Yeah, they do. So it's easy money. And I think there's a lot of over-promising and under-delivering on it, which I don't agree with. But you know what? That's my moral compass, and I don't expect anybody to share my moral compass. Yeah, it's going to be a thing. But I believe there's always going to be another path. You don't always have to subscribe to some of these platforms that require you to pay to get information. There's always going to be somebody out there who's willing to help. You just got to find them. So, I don't know. What do you think? Again, I hope you wrote it down already in the comment section. Stop in this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.